going to be a fun day today here at the Celebrating Appalachia house. You might be able to guess what we're doing by my apron, but I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. But the first thing, Matt's got to get on the main dish. He's got to get it in the oven so it can be cooking low and slow all day. So I'm going to get out of the way and let him show you how to do it. We've shared it. It's a deer, what we would say a deer ham. I guess a deer roast is what most people call it. And we've shared it in several videos, so you may have already seen it. But in case you haven't, I'll let Matt show you how to put it together. And this recipe would work really well for, I think, even a pork or a beef or elk. If you're lucky enough to have something like that, any kind of roast would work really well for that too. But I'll let Matt show you how to do it.
Alright, first we got just the roast in the pot with a little water, about a ½ inch water in the bottom. I like to do it in a cast iron pot just because it's kind of old-timey. Melt a stick of butter with some garlic in it and just pour that over top of it also. And that just mixes down in all the juices there. And I'll usually at this point season it some because I'm going to cover the whole thing with bacon. And I like to season the meat and then put the bacon on. And sometimes I'll season just a little bit on top of the bacon too, just because it looks good. A little bit of black pepper. And a little salt. A little oregano, a little dried oregano. I like it. I put it on just about everything I cook just because I like it. A little parsley. And a little bit of lime juice, just because I like that. And a little Worcestershire sauce. Not very much, just a little. And then over top of that, I will kind of cover the whole roast with strips of bacon. And that bacon fat, as it's cooking, kind of drizzles down over that meat and gives it a real good flavor. And then, like I say, sometimes I'll go over top of that again just with a little bit of seasoning. Just because it makes it look pretty as it's cooking and as it comes out. And then over top of that, I like to drizzle just a little bit of honey, and that gives it just not much, just a little bit of sweet flavor. And it cooks in well with the butter and the garlic and all that, I think. I just come about this on my own. I didn't learn this part of it. I learned the basic part of it from my dad, but I kind of adjusted it to my own taste over the years. And that's pretty much it. It just goes in the oven, 225 for, I don't know, 8 hours or so. Sometimes we let it go 10 hours, just whatever we're doing at the time. If we need the oven to put more, get it out and put something else in to cook, but about 8 hours it'll be done. It smells up the whole house. It smells good.
So the special day we're going to have here at Celebrating Appalachia is we're going to celebrate Christmas, even though it's July. I did this for the first time last year. I've heard that old saying my whole life, but the first time I did it for our family was last year. I'll link to that video in the description below if you'd like to go back and see it. And the reason that I did it was so many of you encouraged me to. At Christmas, if you've been with us for a long time, you'll know, and if not, you can go back and find the videos. But I make a orange cinnamon pull-apart bread. It's really, really delicious, and it's Matt's favorite. But I only make it at Christmas. It's the only time I ever made it. I've got my oranges here ready to go for it today. I think of oranges and those type things as Christmas. And there's several things that I only make at Christmas, and I don't make them any other time of the year. But so many of you encouraged me, said, Matt really deserves that. You should make it for him in July and celebrate Christmas in July. So last year we did that for the first time, and we all really enjoyed it. Now last year we had usually on Christmas Eve, our traditional Christmas Eve supper is we have oyster stew. And so that's what we had for our celebration in July last year. This year we're going to do it different. We're going to we're not going to go all out and make all the things we would at Christmas, but we're going to make some of the things. So that roast that Matt put in the oven, the deer ham, that's going to be really good, and we always have one of those at Christmas. And usually what Matt does is he puts it on the night before when we go to bed, and then we wake up and it's that wonderful, wonderful aroma filling the house. And if you've watched Matt make it in several of our videos over the last few years, you may notice that he done something slightly different this time. That's how he does. Every time he does this or he does that, just barely changing maybe the seasonings he uses, the spices or stuff. But no matter what he does, it turns out wonderful. And my brother Paul, he says he don't ever want to have to order a last meal, but if he did, that's what it would be. It would be Matt's deer ham. So along with that deer ham, we're going to have, I've got some green beans right here I need to break up that's from our garden. We're going to have green beans. We're also, Katie requested mashed potatoes. We're going to have mashed potatoes. I always make rolls. Again, I have videos about those rolls I can link to. But I make an oatmeal dinner roll. I make those at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I've been doing that for many, many years. My family would not let me come, which I have it at my house, so that would be hard for them to do, but they would go in revolt if I didn't have those rolls. My whole extended family just really loves them. So I'm going to make a run of those. I'm going to make us some rolls. And we're going to have, I was trying to think, what else was it we were going to have? I'm going to have, of course, the orange pull-apart bread. I'm going to make that. And then I'm also going to make, a lot of times in Appalachia you'll hear, and other places too I'm sure, but at Christmas you'll hear people talk about ambrosia, having ambrosia. Now over my lifetime, the types of things I've heard people that I've ate that people called ambrosia was more of like a fruit salad with marshmallows. I'm sure you've had something like that. Granny calls hers heavenly hash. Heavenly hash, she'd always make it. So I have a recipe like that I really like that Miss Cindy taught me. She got it from her friend Larry, so I'll show you how to make that. It's really, really simple, just a super simple one. But I don't remember if it was last Christmas, I think the Christmas before, I thought I want to do a traditional ambrosia, really go back and see if it's something that we like, and because I knew over the years kind of those fruit salads had just kind of took on that name, and a lot of people have them every Christmas, like Granny would make her heavenly hash when I was growing up. So I did a video, I'll link to that too, about kind of the traditional one. I went by John Paris. He wrote about Western North Carolina extensively, and he had a cookbook, Mountain Cooking. So I went by his recipe, and it was good. It was much more, less sweet because, think about the marshmallows and the more modern way we would make it. So it didn't have anything like that in it. But it had, I think it had fresh oranges and fresh coconut, if I'm remembering right. I'll have to go back and revisit that myself. But it turned out it was good, and we liked it. But instead of making that one today, I'm going to make the one that Miss Cindy taught me to make. So it is sort of odd to think about all these wonderful Christmas traditions and things during the middle of the summer. Today, after I kind of get situated in here, I've got to go outside and harvest some things. I've got to go pick blueberries. There's some cucumbers I need to get, and maybe some other things. So it's strange to think about it. I've got to break these beans up before I can actually cook them. That's probably what I should do first, but to get them on. We like to cook them long and slow. But it is strange to think about Christmas. But I found out last year, thanks to all of you who encouraged us to do that it's also really, really nice. And as I knew I wanted to do this video again this year, I knew I wanted to do it for my family, for us all to be together. And as the days approaching this, we had it on my mind and thinking about it and thinking about what I wanted to do different. And a few of you were thinking about it too. So there's two things I want to share with you before I start cooking. One of them is, I'll start with this one just because thinking about how it's different to think about Christmas during the month of July. This was actually sent to me as a card, sent to me by Jean, a Christmas card. We love to get Christmas cards at Christmas. If you've watched our videos, you'll know we hang them all through the kitchen. They're so beautiful and so lovely. I really love them. So this one is just greetings of the season, wishing you and yours a wonderful holiday season. But I wanted to read to you what Jean wrote, or a little bit of it. I won't read everything. So in the beginning, Jean just explains why she wanted to send us the Christmas card, and said that she started doing it this time of the year a decade or so ago. And then she goes on to explain why, though. And she thought of it, though, because, used to you'd see a lot of 4th of July sales that were going on, and that's kind of what made her think about it. But she said, I've decided it's nice to remember all the blessings and cooler weather in December, as these hot, humid days make me think of the cooler days with rare snow in our area. The best part is thinking of Jesus' birth, then death, burial, and resurrection that showed God's love for everyone and brought hope and joy as sins are confessed, and Jesus grants us salvation with a new eye in Christ and a helper and friend along our life pathway. That's really powerful for a believer like me, so I love that. So Jean goes on to just kind of say some really nice things about us, so I won't read all of that, but that she enjoys the stuff that we do about Appalachia. Thank you so much, Jean, for that sweet card. So that's a good, I guess, another way to look at it. It's not just celebrating. I started thinking of this last year, but then it's continuing on to this year, and time goes by so fast, it seems like that was just yesterday. But to think not only of those wonderful, like the foods we're going to enjoy and all that, but also thinking about, if you are a believer, the meaning of that season, and letting it stretch throughout the year for you. Another thing, Paula, dear sweet Paula, sent me, made me cry. I sat down and cried when I opened the package. She sent me these 2 beautiful little angels. They're just adorable. They're little boys, and that's why she sent them. You can see they're holding a present, so they're old, like an old Christmas decoration, both of them. Really lovely. And she sent them to me because, of course, now I have 2 grandsons, so I thought that was so sweet. But it was perfect, too, thinking about me doing this video, perfect time of the year, since we were going to celebrate Christmas during the middle of the summer. So thank you so much, Paula. Those are just lovely. Now, you may have noticed back here in the back, I have a Christmas tree. A beautiful antique Christmas tree. It's not mine, it's Corey's. But what happened is, a dear sweet couple sent it to Corey last year. Thank you so much, because she likes Christmas as much as I do, and she likes to decorate. But that was right at the time that Corey and Austin had their house up for sale, and they thought, to begin with, like immediately they got somebody that was going to buy it, and then that fell through. But because of that, they never even decorated for Christmas last year. And then because that is so fragile and so old, Corey said, I don't want to take it over to that house knowing I may end up at this house, so I'll just wait if that's okay. I said, sure, it's okay. So it's been sitting on the very top shelf in our, what we call our dangerous rooms, kind of a guest room, catch-all. Anyway, where we do all of our shipping and that kind of stuff. So that's where it's been sitting all this time. Of course, Corey's not thought about it yet because Christmas is not here. She'll definitely get it and take it down to her house before Christmas gets here. But I just happened to see it the other day. It's up high, so when I go in there, usually it's not in my line of sight. But I thought, that's what I need to use for my video. So I'm going to enjoy it today. I'm not even going to tell Corey, and then when she comes up here this afternoon, this evening late to eat, she'll see it and be surprised, and I know she'll enjoy seeing it. Now, some other things Christmas makes you think about for me is Christmas music. I always think about Christmas music. And I've been listening to Christmas music. I've been listening to exactly one song, The Friendly Beast. And the reason I've been listening to it is because it's on a CD that Pap and his brother did. Today, if you will hear his voice, it's just one of the tracks on it. The rest of the tracks are not Christmas. They're all just gospel songs. But every time that comes up, I've been listening to it. And again, I've been thinking, kind of like Jean said, it's hot and humid and having to wipe the sweat when I get into a hot car or whatever, and then that song comes on and I think about Christmas. It's a beautiful, beautiful song, really like a lullaby. I'll link to it. It's a very, very old song too, like way, several centuries old. Anyway, I'll link to that in the description below if you've never heard it. It is beautiful. But Paul, if you want to hear some Christmas music, Paul and Pap do have a CD. Of course, this was made a long time ago. Pap's been gone since 2016, and so it's an old CD, but we still have it in stock. I'll link to it if you'd like to jump over and get you a copy. But I'll read out just the songs. It's my favorite Christmas music, of course, because I'm partial to Pap and Paul. That's the main reason. But it does have all of the, you think of the classic Christmas songs. So Joy to the World, It Came Upon the Midnight Clear, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Away in a Manger, Good Christian Men Rejoice, Silent Night, The Little Drummer Boy, The First Noel, What Child Is This, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, The Friendly Beast, it's on here by Paul and Pap, Jingle Bells, We Three Kings, and O Come All Ye Faithful. So these were all done by Paul and Pap, except The Little Drummer Boy it's just an instrumental, my Uncle Henry playing it. So anyway, a really great CD. If you don't have it, or if you like Christmas music, I'll link to that. Speaking of Corey, she's always really good. She probably won't be this year because her world has certainly changed with the birth of Woodrow, but she's always really good about thinking ahead for Christmas, and she's like starts buying gifts. Not that she goes extravagant or anything like that, but she starts listening to what people say, and if somebody says they need something, she makes a little note of it, and then she looks. A lot of her gifts come from thrift stores, online thrift kind of places, or eBay or Etsy, those kind of places. And so she's always on the lookout, and or if something's on clearance or on sale, and then she remembers somebody said they needed that. So she's really great about that. So I don't know that she'll be doing that this year, but I never managed to do that. But I will share that there is a great place where if you have someone you want to buy jewelry for, is Katie's shop. I have to give her a little plug. So Stamy Creek Creations, I will link to that in the description below. And Katie is having a sale to celebrate Christmas here in this month of July, so she's having a sale, so you can, if you need something, like if you're thinking about something special for someone, Katie does beautiful work. She's a silversmith and a lapidary artist, so I'm of course again partial to her work, but she makes beautiful creations, so you can jump over there and look at what she's got. I love it when things, like I was saying, I was already thinking about this video, I knew I wanted to do it. And I love when things like the letter, the card, and the little angels come my way, and kind of gives you reassurance that maybe you're on the right track of what you're planning to do. And this is just totally silly, but I want to share it anyway. My soap dispenser here on my sink, at my kitchen sink, is out. It's almost out, so every time I go, I'm like, it's a foam one someone got me for Christmas last year. And every time I do that, I'm barely getting any out. And I thought, I'm just going to have to, I like to try to get all the soap out. I usually put water in it and shake it up and use it, to make sure you get it all. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to just dig under my kitchen sink and see if I've got any other soap to put in it. Well, when I did, I found this. And so it's a Snow Palace. It's just soft soap, just a little liquid soap. But I thought, it goes right along with what I'm doing, what's been going on in my mind. So I love it when things like that happen. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my rolls. I've got my first step is making oatmeal. These are oatmeal is in these rolls, and I've got that, and then you let it cool, and then you mix the rest of it all together. And then of course you have to let it rise, then you have to shape the rolls and let them rise again. So I'm going to get on that really quick and get that started. I got to break my green beans up. I might entice Matt to help me do that. And then I've got to get the orange bread too. That's again a yeast bread that has to rise, so I have to get those started. But I'm really excited about this, and excited about spending this day with my family. I'm not sure that Paul and Granny will get to come up, but we've already told them about it. So if they don't get to, Paul will at least come get them 2 plates to take back down and enjoy. So I know they're looking forward to it too. So I'm ready to put my rolls together. I will link to the recipe in the description so you don't have to worry about the measurements or anything like that. First I'm going to add my oatmeal that I cooked, and my salt is in here too. I just went ahead and put it on top of the oatmeal since I knew I was about to put them together. I've got a sink full of dishes. I'm going to have to do those too. Then I've got 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And then I've got my yeast that's been proofing with some water and some sugar. Usually I double this recipe, sometimes I triple it, but today I'm just going to make a single recipe, which will be easier than managing. When you double it, you've got such a huge amount of dough, it's hard to get it stirred up. Then I'm going to start adding my flour. It calls for 4 cups of flour. I usually just start a little at a time and see, I don't know, I guess it depends on the weather. Sometimes it's like it takes more, other times it takes less. You can use a mixer to do this first step, but what happens is eventually it just gets so thick it's hard to use a mixer, so I just sometimes I'll use a mixer in the beginning, but most of the time I just do it by hand. When you get down towards the end of all the flour, sometimes you just have to use your hands and knead the rest of it in. As you can see, I'm pretty much at that place. I do think I'm going to add it all though. Okay, I think I'm ready to turn it out onto a board and knead it a little bit, and then we'll be ready to let it rise. I think that's ready to be put in a bowl, oil the bowl. I usually just use the bowl that I mixed it up in just so I don't have to dirty another one. Cover it and I let it rise for at least about an hour. It's nice that Matt has that roast in the oven. That's always a good thing at Thanksgiving too and Christmas, because my stove is a perfect place. Just set it on top and it rises pretty quickly with that warmth coming up from under it. We're going to break up these beans. Matt's over there helping himself to the yard snacks though. Tommy toes, are they good?
Gosh, them things is good.
Should have got us a bucket to put here's the one right here. Put our strings in. Is that one of the little orange ones?
Yeah,
those
are one of them little bitty red ones too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I hadn't had one of them yet.
I hadn't either. Well, these right here.
Yeah.
Or was it on further back?
Well, it was just a couple of plants down from them right there.
Okay, yeah, I've not had one of those. It was good.
Gosh, yeah.
No black cherries ripe yet that I've seen.
No.
And no Juliets that I've seen.
What is them I'm
Unless
eating?
that might have been a Juliet. Was it more long shaped or was it round?
It was round.
Well, might have been sun gold. I don't know. Whatever it was good though.
I just see them turn color and I eat them. I don't care what they are.
Yeah. Lots of times we break up beans, or Matt breaks them up. He'll be watching TV, watching the YouTube videos or something like that.
Yeah, gun smoke.
Gun smoke, yeah. As dry as it is, this may be the last beans we get.
It don't rain soon.
Yeah. We have been making more of an effort to water, but when you have as much stuff as we do all spread out, it's hard to actually get it all watered, even if you did want to do that. If you did, most of the time we don't have to, which is really great. This year's just a really, really dry year, and then when you think about watering that much, everything we have, you have to start thinking about, we have a well, so you have to start thinking about, are you going to put your well in danger of, our wells never went dry, but I would never want it to either.
No.
So you've got to think about that too. Now Matt's already thinking though about next year, about things that would make it easier if you did have to water. Because for us, watering means dragging a hose and using watering cans, which is, again, our garden's so spread out that makes it really hard. But Matt's thinking about the big garden, using the creek, of course, would be handy. And then even thinking about some stuff for up here too. But for this year, it's kind of, what did they say? Somebody that shared that in a comment recently asked me if I'd ever heard that, which of course I have, a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah, it's a hard diabolic to be worried about that now, but
there's always next year though.
We most of the time never have to worry about that, and this is the first time we've used that big garden in all these years.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't expecting this dry weather, but here it is, and now we know for next year we'll be a little more prepared.
Yeah. Still amazing though. Now the beans have not done good as compared to what we usually have, but other stuff's still doing pretty good. So still getting some bounty, which we're very, very thankful for. It does seem nice to sit out here I'm always up for sitting out here in the garden or wherever we're at. Actually, we never shared, thinking about sitting at the big garden. We'd said we needed something down there, which was not, once everything was in, we've not spent as much time down there as we thought. Anyway, I did get Matt that one of the chairs you're sitting in, because it looks new, 2 of the wood chairs like we had up here for Father's Day. We've just never took them to the big garden, so they've just been sitting up here around, but I did get him that for Father's Day. Anyway, but this time of the year, you know, especially today, thinking about we're really celebrating Christmas, even though here it is in the hot weather. It is a good time to remember that this will soon be gone. I can't believe Matt's happy the hot weather will soon be gone, but for me, I can't believe that this is July. That, you know, over half the year's gone, and before you know it, we will be really celebrating Christmas, and it'll be cold weather, and the garden will be put to sleep, and you know, so it's nice to actually sit out in it and immerse yourself in it and actually enjoy all of it, even the heat that Matt don't like. Time goes so fast though, summer will soon be gone. It'd be interesting this winter, as dry as we've been. We've had so many wet years that I'm like, okay, it's just this much moisture, I will get a big snow, and I've not. So let's see if this is the dry year, see if it's the opposite in the winter and we get enough moisture to have a big snow. Usually we're cold enough for snow a lot of the times, but there's no moisture, or it misses us, or it dissipates before it gets here, or whatever. But we'll see if this is the opposite. All the years that we had just really wet summers, I was like, okay, I know I'm going to get a snow this year because of all this moisture. But that ain't how it worked. Either it stayed too warm or the moisture went away. So Matt helped me break the green beans up, and I've got them on cooking away. They're going to be so good. So now I'm going to actually whip up the ambrosia, really fruit salad. But when I forgot when I got my little recipe card out that Miss Cindy had given me, it's what they've called it, ambrosia fruit salad. So it takes, and you'll see this is such a simple recipe that you could mix and match, and you could decrease or increase what you like or don't like. But 2 cans of it's got large in parentheses, pineapple chunks. I use the ones that are, there's 15 ounces, 15.25 ounces. 2 of those, and 1 can of mandarin oranges, a small one. I usually get a smaller can than this, but I couldn't find one, so this is 11 ounces. So you're going to add those put them in a strainer and let them drain. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pineapples in there before I tell you the rest, and then let the oranges be draining too. And then after that, we're going to mix that in there, and then we're going to add 1 pint of sour cream, 1/4 bag of coconut flakes, and it says a large bag. They don't make bags as large as I don't think as they used to. So again, I would just do that to taste. And you could buy unsweetened coconut or shred your own. That would be really good, but I just have sweetened coconut today. And then 1/3 to 1/2 bag of small marshmallows of a large bag. Again, it's just basically to taste. So you're going to mix all that thoroughly, allow to stand overnight. Of course, I'm not doing that part. Smooth out on top, and then that just makes it pretty. But you can add walnuts, pecans, whatever kind of nuts you would like. You can add some of the little cherries that come in the jar. And then if you didn't want the pineapple chunks, you could substitute pears, peach slices, apricot slices. So you can see it's just really easy to switch it up to what you like or what you don't like. Now, let me go ahead and put my oranges in there. Usually I don't put nuts in stuff anymore because Austin can't eat nuts, so I always worry about him. Now, it's not that he's allergic, of course, because then I wouldn't even have them nowhere near, but it's just that they don't agree with him well, so he doesn't eat them because of that. But I am going to put them in this, but I'm just going to use whole pieces of some pecans. A wonderful sweet friend sent us, so I've got some whole ones. that we shelled out. And I'm going to put those, and if he wants to pick them out, he can, and that would be really easy. And again, it's not that he's allergic, it's just that they don't agree with him. So I'm going to add my sour cream here. I like to save these little containers like this, and what I've done with the lid. I think I've already put it in the dishes. It's the perfect size to if you just want to freeze a little bit of something, or if you want to send it home with somebody, maybe leftovers. If I'm sitting at home with Corey and Austin, I put them in this, and then that way they don't even have to worry about ever bringing it back to me. Those are handy. So I usually do that. And then let's see about the coconut. It says 1/4 of a bag. I'm going to put probably more like that. Let's see if I can stir this up some, and then I'll get the marshmallows. The marshmallows hiding down here. That might be more like a 1/2 a bag instead of a 1/4. That's okay. Even though you drain out all that liquid, it's still really already really moist. There's even liquid in the bottom already, because of course once you start stirring, the fruit releases more of the juice it was canned in. And the main reason for doing it overnight is that it does get better. It allows all those flavors to marry, the sweetness of the marshmallows and the coconut, and then the oranges and the pineapple, and then the tartness of the sour cream. A lot of times ambrosias like this on the top, people would put another layer of marshmallows, or you could put some nuts, or you could lay some pineapple or some orange slices. That would be really pretty, but I'm not going to do any of that. I am going to, I'm running out of room here. What I did with my lid. Oh, it was right below me, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator so that it can be marrying until we're eating late this evening. And then I've got to get on my orange pull-apart bread. That's the main star. That's what Matt wanted most of all. So I've got to get on that next. I won't go into all the detail about how to make the orange cinnamon bread. I have a video about it. I think I've shared it more than once. But the best place, I'll put the link in the description, is go to the website where I found it originally. How Sweet It Is the name of the website. And I can't remember how I stumbled upon it and what made me even try it. I guess just because I like yeasty sweet breads, maybe. I don't know. But from that time, we all loved it so much that it would just become like usually my last hurrah of Christmas. At the end of, it's kind of like the last major thing that I make, usually after Christmas. It's like maybe the week after Christmas, between that and New Year's, or maybe sometimes they even make it on New Year's Day. Anyway, but kind of like the last celebration till we go back to the regular routine of life. So it's really delicious. It does take a lot of orange zest, and I've always just used my little grater thing, and that works really good. But a sweet subscriber sent me a little zester, so I've been using it this morning. I've already got everything I need, and I've got my fresh orange juice here that I squeezed out of some of the oranges I zested, and then the others we just cut up and eat. I mean, Katie and Matt's all been enjoying them. But if you've never used one of these, it is revolutionary, I swear. It's so easy just to pull, and you hold it in your hand, and the little zest just comes off in strips. It's amazing. I am wondering, the strips are, you can see let me get you closer so that you could see, just a moment. So it doesn't take much pressure, and the zest just comes off in strips. I am wondering, with the strips that long, if there'll be any difference in the flavor, or not flavor really, but texture, but I don't think so, and I don't think it would be enough to make any difference if there was. So you can see how easily it just falls off. It's just so much easier than using you have to scrape, and then you scrape the other way, and I'm always, as I turn the orange around, as I'm doing the grater, I always get down into the white part, because I don't move it. You know, I'm just going in such a hurry. So this is just so easy. Thank you so much for blessing me with it. And if you've never tried one, you should get one and try it. If you use, you know, if you're somebody that uses a lot of zest, this is basically mostly the only time I do this is at, like I said, at Christmas, or now in July too. I'm going to do it both. But this made it so much easier this morning. So much easier. So I just needed one more. It really is orange bread, because at each point you put orange zest into the bread, the filling, and the icing, what you put on top. So I just need one more tablespoon, and I've definitely got it. I'll use every bit of this though. So really made this job a lot easier for sure. Green beans are still going. I got both doughs rising. I'm going to have to go back in and do my rolls and get those situated. I stopped and had a little watermelon for my dinner, and now I've come out. I'm going to see if I can find any cucumbers, and I know that there's blueberries that need to be picked. Every time I come out to the cucumbers, of course, I'm still looking for the squash bugs. I found some last night down by the other squash. It was actually the winter squash, and I learned a trick. I don't know, I've been spraying them and trying to make sure there's, you know, they're just now starting to run, so that making sure that there's no bugs on them. But I just happened to lift one of the stems up as I was spraying some of the pepper spray, and there was 2 or 3 hiding. So then I went back and lifted up the stem on all of them, and I found squash bugs. So I was so glad that I seen them and was able to get them. These are the silver slicers here that I'm getting. I've about got enough to make pickles. Hopefully one day next week I can do that. I've just been saving them in the refrigerator. Ooh, there's a big one that somehow hid from me. That always happens. There's another big one. It looks like it's hid from me the last times I got them. Cucumbers hide from you like that and get really big. They're still edible. It's not that you couldn't eat them. They just get, the seeds get bigger, and then they're, you know, they get kind of seedy. Lots of blooms. Rain would really do them some good. We have been trying to water the cucumbers though. There's another big one that's somehow right in the open, but I still hadn't seen. It's only been 2 days since I picked cucumbers. It's funny, if you see a little cucumber and you're like, I'm gonna like that one right there. I'm like, that's just a little bit too little. I'll save that. And then they grow so fast. So not bad for just a very few minutes of picking cucumbers here. This was that really big one that I found. Big ones like that are good to save the seeds out of, but I'm not ready to save seeds yet this year. I'm gonna cut that, I'll cut that one in 2 and I'll let the chickens eat it. But again, you could still eat it, it's just that the seeds in it are gonna be really big. So, not bad, as I said, and hopefully I'll be able to make pickles soon. I'm gonna try to pick these blueberries. I've been just standing out here and enjoying them. Everybody has. Every time somebody walks by here, I think they stop for a few minutes, but I'm gonna take some of these in. Everybody has their own way of picking berries, but I like to just hold for the blueberries, if you can just kind of hold your bucket up to them and pull them and let them fall, seems to work good for me. So I ended up with about 1/3 of a gallon of blueberries. I'll take it. I can eat all those by myself just in a day or so. If I wasn't fixing this big feast, I would eat them probably by the end of the day. So I'm really pleased with that. I'm gonna set them to the side and get ready to wash up my cucumbers. And my dough I was going to take a look, I'm sure it's ready. Yeah, my dough for my rolls has doubled in size, so I'm going to go ahead and shape my doughs and get them ready to rise again so they'll be ready to cook. Granny's been thinking about Christmas in July too. What you been working on?
Well, I've been making some little ornaments, like a Santa Claus
Oh, he's cute. I like his sack on his back.
and an angel,
That's pretty too. Want me to hold them?
if you want to,
Those are adorable.
and a snowman.
Oh, he's cute too.
Yeah, I like to make the snowmen. They're easier than the Santa Claus and angel.
I wish I had a big snow to make a real snowman, but Granny don't.
Oh,
She
no.
don't want no snow.
No,
Have you made any ornaments this year?
just these. I was trying to make everybody, all the family, a snowman, an angel, and a Santa Claus, because I had the patterns for them.
Folks was wondering if you ever found your pattern,
Yeah, I found it.
and then I ordered you one, and it turned out to be the same pattern.
Yeah.
So you got the little vest made.
I made it.
So would you say you're ready for Christmas, even though it's July?
Yeah, I might make a few more things before Christmas. Not sure.
Well, I thought you had more than that. Let's see.
Well, I've got more, but they're the same thing.
Okay, well, hold the angel up again and let's... Oh,
That's,
there's a littler one. That's cute. How adorable.
and more. I just put them in this bag. I was trying to make everybody some for Christmas.
So cute. You got another snow or Santa in there you can hold up?
Yeah.
Those are just adorable.
Yeah, I thought the kids would like them for Christmas.
They will.
They can hang them on their tree.
You think it's funny to think about Christmas in July?
No, because the time goes so fast, it'll be here before we're really ready.
That's true. And you're always thinking about it pretty much this time of the year because you're already thinking about what you got to work on.
Yeah, you got to start early if you're going to crochet. And so I've been making these. The snowmen are the easiest to make. So I've made more snowmen than these angels. I've still got more snowmen in my bag. Merry Christmas.
Just got the rolls out of the oven, and of course I had to taste one. Is there anything better than like hot rolls, homemade bread? You know, biscuits are good too, and cornbread. You know I love cornbread, but I do really love, this is my favorite yeast roll if you think about like dinner rolls or yeast rolls that you would eat with your meals. So good. Because of the oatmeal in them, and it has brown sugar in it. Again, I'll link to the video and to the recipe that's on the Blind Pig and Acorn. It gives it a real nutty, earthy, I don't know, just delicious. I'm so thankful to the lady that put it in Southern Living all those years ago, and so glad that I tried it. I've been making them ever since. So I'm getting close to being done. Now that these are finished, I need to put the meat back in the oven, and then I've got to cook the cinnamon pull-apart bread. I already have my potatoes cut up, and I just now started them, just turned them on. So to make mashed potatoes, Katie asked for mashed potatoes. I just cut up my potatoes, cover them with water. I usually put a little bit of butter and then salt and pepper in there and cook them that way. And then I'll show you what I do once they're done. I never put tablecloths on my table except at Thanksgiving and Christmas. So since we're celebrating, I'm going to put one on. Last year, the first year we did this, me and Katie and Matt, it was only us. Last year we ate outside and we used a tablecloth, so I think I'm going to do that again this year. So I ran downstairs. I knew I'd seen that was a Christmas tree that sometimes that happens. That happens every year to me. I put all the Christmas stuff up, and then I'm going through the house like 3 weeks later, and I see some kind of Christmas piece, you know, that I forgot. So I knew that was sitting down there in the basement. I also found another blue one that's new. Somebody must have maybe got it in a gift or something, and maybe a late Christmas gift, and we'd already put everything up. Anyway, so that's really simple. I was tempted to dig into my Christmas decorations and get out some trees, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. That's good enough, and it's really nice. The little angels that Paula sent, little boys for my grandsons, they match that beautiful old antique tree. So I'm ready to mash my potatoes, and I about made a fatal mistake. I'm going to put some butter in there that I melted a little bit so it won't cool off the potatoes. The way I do my potatoes is I drain the liquid out of them, drain the water, then I heat up some milk and some butter. I get it hot, and then I put that in it and mash the potatoes with it, and the salt and pepper. People do it different ways. Miss Cindy saved her potato juice out of, you know, that it had cooked in, and that's what she used. And then they were good. They were fine, although I prefer mine to hers or to Granny's, either one. Anyway, but I was about to do that. Well, why that would be a fatal mistake today is that Katie is having to forego any kind of milk because of the baby, because she's nursing and he's lactose intolerant. And she was the one that asked for the mashed potatoes, so if I had... that would have been bad. Anyway, Matt reminded me at the last minute. He's like, remember, you can't put milk in that. So I am going to do Miss Cindy's trick, and I'm just going to add back some of the broth that the potatoes cooked in. I'll start with that. And I'm going to give it some pepper and some salt. And the texture of your potatoes, you know, everybody, again, like I was saying, personal preference about how you like them. Granny makes hers, and Miss Cindy did too, kind of stiff, more stiff. I like mine really, really soft. So that depends on how much liquid, whether you're using milk or heavy cream or whatever, or the potato juice. Okay, I'm going to get me a fork and taste. Back when I was very first married, I was watching some kind of taking care of Corey and Katie, you know, and I was here, Matt was at work. Every day I'd watch some kind of home, you know, home and garden, whatever. I don't think it was HGTV. I can't remember what it was back then. Maybe something on TLC or something. Anyway, it was someone on there cooking. It wasn't the cooking channel either, but we didn't have it in those days. But they said the key to really good mashed potatoes was people don't salt them enough. So I found that to be true. I started adding more salt, of course, as I taste, as I go along, and my potatoes improved dramatically. I'm going to have to add a little bit more salt, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the potato broth that I cooked them in. Because again, I like mine really soft. Give me another fork. Or a spoon. Those are so good. So good. I think I'm going to call it done. Usually I have to add more salt than that. But two things probably. Using the liquid from the potatoes, there's salt in it because I salted them when I cooked them, so that might be why. And then recently I have switched to Miss Cindy's, her salt and pepper shaker, and just because they're pretty, they're nice, they're larger, and I really like them, and I just wanted them because they were hers. I love thinking about that these were hers even when she was in Black Mountain, but even, you know, also out here. And salt really comes out of this, so I'm adding more than I usually would with my little salt shaker. Anyway, I'm going to call those done. Now I just got to get everything situated so we can eat.
The shepherds and the wise men came from afar. To Bethlehem they hastened, led by a star. Angels brought the news, the Savior is born. Peace on earth, goodwill holy night. Baby in a manger, star in the sky. Joy in our hearts, tears in our eyes. It's Christmas time, blissful time. It's Christmas time again. Snowflakes are falling, hills and meadows are white. Angels bring good tidings on this holy night. Baby in a manger, star in the sky. Joy in our hearts, tears in our eyes. It's Christmas time, blissful time. It's Christmas time again.
This looks like a Christmas feast, don't it?
It does.
Matt's roast turned out beautiful as always. He's already tasted it. Tastes pretty good.
Yeah. Get a little of that bacon with it too.
New green beans. You couldn't do that at Christmas.
No. You'd have to be a real good gardener to do that.
Or live in a different place.
And I ain't that good.
And it's gonna get some of the ambrosia salad.
I like that stuff.
Couldn't have fresh green onions and cucumbers and tomatoes either.
No.
What do you think?
It's like a feast to me. Hope you don't expect any production out of me for a day or so.
After you eat that big?
Yeah, I won't be able to do nothing.
Oh, yeah. Delicious meal. It was so good. I think everybody thought it was delicious. Some of them are still eating. Paul come up and he got him and Granny a plate and took it back with him. I even went ahead and gave him a little piece of bread and just put some icing on the plate with it. So he was excited to get that. Paul first said, "No, I don't want it. Just send Mama a piece." And when I got Granny's little piece off, and then when he seen the icing, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you had icing." So he took one too. So I know they will enjoy it. Matt's he was really excited about the supper, but I know he's really waiting on this too. Okay, see if I can find us some plates to put them on. You want to come and taste your piece? Yeah, you can get another one. Ooh, might be a little big, but get you some more icing on it. There you go.
That's bigger than the plate is.
I know it is
That's the
really.
way I like it.
Try to get me a little piece here on this end. I kind of tore it up, mangled it getting it out, but it'll still
don't
taste good. What I did with my fork either. What would be really good with it's a big glass of milk, right?
of coffee.
Cup of coffee. Mm.
My goodness, that's good. That's my all-time top #1 favorite dessert ever.
It's so good. Mm.
It's ridiculously good. A work, y'all.
It is really good. It is a lot of work compared to other desserts, but totally worth it. We really thank you for coming along with us today as we celebrated Christmas in the middle of the summer. It's really a unique thing, and we're thankful to all of you who encouraged us to do it last year. I think it's something that we'll do from now on.
Yep.
And of course, I'm sentimental, and I always think about the connections to family. Family plays a huge role in Appalachian culture. So at Christmas, I'm talking about those things. But even now, it's still those connections. I don't think I said this morning I'm wearing the apron. Granny made me this apron ages ago. And then when I think about the next generation, of course my girls are over there in Austin eating, but then I think about the next generation, my little grandsons. I know I'm just thinking in my head, like if we keep doing this, then they're going to always think that's how you should do it. They're going to grow up thinking about this wonderful celebration of Christmas, and because we're believers, what that means for us, the birth of Christ. But at the same time that we're getting, the tomatoes and the onions and the fresh green beans and all that from the garden, and the sun's beating down and it's hot outside, yet we're celebrating Christmas. It's really special.
Yep.
And we're thankful that you're the reason that we're doing this. As always, we're glad you stopped by to help us celebrate Appalachia.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas.
I thought you was going to make a speech.
I don't know, I thought something was going to follow. For real though, how many months is it to Christmas?
Like what? 5
So
months.
we're at the halfway mark, which means you better be starting to think about all your future Christmas plans. This is the time. I mentioned that in one of my videos. This is when Corey gets started planning and...
Does. I mentioned that this morning, but she may not this year. She got her hands full.
Of course, she's late. She starts...
Corey was really surprised to see her tree, though. As soon as she come in, she said, "My Christmas tree." I was like, "Yeah, you can take it home with you now. Enjoy it at your house this year."